Hey, how's it going, guys? So, Evo Japan 2019 has concluded, and it went by
Mhm.
really well. How'd you think about it, Mir?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Like for all the games,
And you
it was
actually, what are the
really well.
hours were like for you on the EU side? Because for me, they were ridiculous. I had to watch it at like 2, 3 a.m. I don't know
Oh,
about
I
you.
mean, I have a terrible time schedule myself anyway, so
Yeah,
it
that's true.
wasn't too bad a problem. But it was in the middle of the night. Started in the
Yes.
middle of the night for Europe, like 5 a.m. I
hmm
think.
hmm So let's talk about some Evo Japan here. Then we'll talk about the mysterious Capcom's communication lately. So as usual, so yeah, we had a bunch of players use different characters, and some use go back to their roots, like Punk, for example, using Karin, who we
Yeah.
suspected to be a very powerful character this season, and it definitely seems so. Punk was doing really, really well with her, and he was just confirming those crouching medium kicks like crazy. And
hmm
I didn't see any like much baits with the V Trigger one where she backdashes and punishes someone for mashing a light punch, but you could just
Yeah.
tell the power is there. I didn't get to see much of the new counter hit combos with her heavy punch, but she just seemed strong in general. And Punk seemed very
hmm
comfortable with that character.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I've noticed that he was going for the double shimmy multiple times. Going
yeah,
in and out and then in again.
yeah,
It worked on some players, but in general, like he played, it just played well. Like
yes,
it
yes.
was solid.
We also have Fudo playing a lot of Birdie as well. I know he used some
hmm
Mika too, but really showing that power of that V trigger too. There was Crusher as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, so many comebacks and so many like, it's so good. Even if you land one hit, and Fudo just using it, he's just using it raw sometimes in neutral, just hitting people low with a low chain,
Yeah.
and you can see how many problems it gave players, even when they understand how it works. I
hmm
think Birdie is definitely going to be the new public enemy #1 this season for sure. Just how easy he is to pick up as a character, and then the potential of him when you
Yeah.
finally master him. I know there's a lot more for Foodle to learn, but he really pushed this character far already at the beginning of the season.
hmm Yeah. Not every character is a standing heavy punch that does 400 damage.
Yeah,
So.
seriously. Seriously, it's so true. I don't know, especially with all the nerfs that Birdie's been getting lately. But just I really like the Fudo. One time he threw down the banana peel and he baited the opponent to jump, and they did, and then used the V trigger too as an anti-air. I just love that stuff, man.
hmm
It's really crafty, and yeah, that V trigger too. I wish we got to see it more in season 3, but it looks like we'll be seeing it a lot in season 4. Even though V trigger 1 is still really, really powerful for
By the
Birdie.
way, two
Yeah.
bars.
Sorry, 2 bar. Yeah,
2 bars. Yeah.
Two
Just
bars.
saying. I think someone else is gonna join the Manat V Trigger 1 party.
Oh, I'm not thought you were gonna mention
Where
Ibuki.
no, where I don't know. I predict they're gonna look at this at one point.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's like an emergency patch like Abigail Styles in
No, maybe
Arcade
maybe
Edition.
not like that, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna stay 2 bars.
yeah,
That's all.
it seems ridiculous so far. We also have Kazunoko using Ibuki. Not much to say about there, just he switched characters from Kami. However, NL also switched from Kami and switched to Akuma, and his Akuma is surprisingly good. And supposedly he's been practicing Akuma since the beginning of the season. So,
hmm
yeah. A lot of pro players take a crack at Akuma, and many fail to get that character on the charts. But NL did very well with
Yeah.
Akuma.
Surprisingly, I should say, Mago's been sticking with Cammy.
Yes, that's worth mentioning too. And he's been doing very well with Kami as well. Kami definitely put Mago on the map there.
Yeah, Mago's not the kind of player to play weak characters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
just
true.
remember Street Fighter 4 story. Like when Sagat was nerfed, they jumped shit
Yeah,
immediately.
man.
Like it didn't wait a second.
Tokido doesn't mess around either. Doesn't mess around either.
That's true.
Yeah. We also have like one of my new favorite players, Giovin, using Nakali. Dude, Giovan's one of the most entertaining players to watch. He simply doesn't care. I mean, Nakali players are so bored out of their mind playing that character for 3 years straight now that they just gotta go wild. It's like transform them as players. The guy's a straight up day walker. I've never seen so many EXDPs, my obvious EXDPs in my life. It was so obvious it got to the opponent where the opponent was basically second guessing himself. He's like, he's too crazy. There's no way he wouldn't do it here, and he does. And it's so fun to watch. Yeah,
It was so obvious to the point that that most of them got blocked, and
Yeah.
and then they didn't make it.
Hey man, but still,
Well, there are tales of even Nemo being scared at this level of play. Of play.
well, I think him and that Paolo Cami player, they're friends. So like he was really trying to throw him off, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I guess they're training partners together or whatever. And speaking of which, he did take out Tokido for the second time in a row because he took out Tokido last Evo Japan in 2018. So very interesting there. So definitely got his number. We got Nemo trying out some Colleen. What do you think about that here?
It's an interesting pick. I don't know if it fits him. Especially, well, I guess it fits him when he pops V-Trigger too, because he gets to use spam standing heavy punch, and we know how much he loves that button with Yuri, so
don't forget
that's yeah, especially a dashing card.
I didn't see
but I don't think he has walked yet in a top 8. Not that I have seen. He just dashes around, so I don't know. Colleen is still it's probably a good fit.
He's got a lot to learn. I mean, he's not using counters very much. He's definitely not using V skill very much. So we'll see if he sticks to the character. I'm surprised that Nemo didn't try G at the beginning of this season, but I guess he feels that even though with G's health buff and such, he still suffers from the same weaknesses that he talked about in his interview from before, where he has problems against the top 2 characters.
Yeah, he thinks he's too unreliable. I think that's how he justified it.
Unstable, I think, would be a better word. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't speak Japanese. Yeah. And I guess we'd better talk about Momochi here. Momochi definitely using a much more interesting character, I would say. Zeku a lot in the tournament. But Colleen definitely is what helped him get the win. So Momochi is just very solid and definitely one of the best fighting game players in general. So he did very, very well. But it is interesting seeing him play Zeku. So I'm looking forward to that in Season 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of Japanese players do believe that Zeku is a great character. I think, well, I mean, I can see it. Zeku has really high damage compared to the rest of the cast, especially considered his mobility and versatility.
Yes.
Some of his options unlocked behind stances, of course, and you don't have access to everything at the same time.
Yeah.
But I mean, young Zeku's great against zoning, got good pressure. Old Zeku's got zoning of his own. EP.
It seems that all these pro players are specifically playing young Zeku though, so far.
Yeah, mostly for sure. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, the character has high damage, and that's already a great thing to have because it's one less time that you have to guess to kill your opponent. You know.
Yes, I still think his V triggers are terrible.
I believe so, yeah.
His normals are underrated, I agree. Young Zeku standing hard punch is an excellent shimmy tool. His standing medium punch is very abusable, right? And he, like you say, doesn't have access to all of his tools at once. I do see Zeku being definitely has a lot of potential as a character, but I just cannot see him sitting in the same spot as characters like Bison or Birdie or the top tiers. I just can't see it, no matter what, Mirror. But I do see Zeku
especially consider his difficulty, right? Because of this
he's not easy
double stance nature.
Right. Okay, there were some players missing from this tournament. Actually, there's a lot of players missing from the tournament. This huge. There's over 1,000 entrants for Street Fighter V. Daigo was missing. Bonchan was missing. Fujimura was missing. Gachi-kun was missing. Sako. All these players are missing. Sako, I definitely want to see if he's using Kage this season, which would be interesting. Daigo's excuse wasn't that good. He said he had to go to a wedding. I don't know. And Gachi-kun, it was his wedding, so he couldn't go. I don't know what the big deal is. Just the most important day of your life. I don't know. Why didn't he schedule his wedding the same day as Evo Japan?
I know, right? Why don't you go play games to marry your wife?
I don't know if Bonchan was at the wedding or whatever, but anyways, yeah, those players are all missing. Some of them had weddings to go to. It's weird. So
I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people are trying to hide their Season 4 tech or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
And they're trying to find any excuse possible just not to show it.
Well, Daigo was sandbagging hard in that Street Fighter League because he was using Guile. And I definitely don't think he's using Guile in Season 4. I'm sure he will for some matchups, but I highly doubt it, man. He's been playing too much Zeku and Ryu. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So, I guess we should talk about when's the next update. we talked about this how many times, man, in the last 3 months. It's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, okay, so like I talked about in the video before, Mir, where we were talking that crazy Blanca glitch. Too bad you couldn't join me for that. But anyways, I said if they're not going to announce it at this point, the only other huge event is the beginning of CPT season, which is that final round on March 15th. So that's, it's like half a month, a little bit more than half a month to go, Mir. And if we don't get something by then, I mean, it's code red. I don't know. It's getting scary. It's always been scary.
I don't know. There's many theories around on what they're trying to wait.
Yes.
To announce this update. There's someone saying, oh, because they want to release Type Arcade.
Yeah, that's the best theory I've heard so far. In case you guys didn't hear about that one, word on the street is that the reason it's been taking so damn long on an update is that they're waiting for Type Arcade to be released. That's the arcade version of Street Fighter V in Japan, and that is supposed to be coming out. Last I checked, it was coming out actually in a month, so they're really close. They did all their testing already, so it's coming out soon, and that matches up with the final round theory. And this update is so big, apparently, that they just want to have it out on the arcade version of the game and the console version all at once, and that's why one is not coming out before the other. And this is just a theory. We don't know for sure, but it's the best one that we have now that makes sense. Ono had surgery lately as well, so he couldn't attend Evo Japan apparently. But I doubt it has anything to do with an announcement, because usually if it was the update was that big, they would have a blog post anyways, right?
Yeah.
So
and they always change their Twitter and Facebook banners and.
Well, that guy's gone now that does that, but yeah. Anymore.
I mean, they can hire someone else.
Hey, I'm just saying, dude, it's Capcom. We're talking about Capcom here, Mir. Okay. We're talking about Capcom here.
Well, they can have an intern do it.
Yeah, they can have an intern do it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, one thing too, guys, that like Evo Japan, like you guys gotta remember that when Capcom does an announcement at a tournament, they usually tell us a few days in advance, hey, make sure you guys stick around top 8. That's where we have an announcement. And like Mir said, they changed the Twitter avatar and the Facebook avatar. They usually says something on Twitter as well. All this is followed up. It's not just a surprise trailer, right? Unless it's some event like Evo. But even then, Capcom tells us they have an announcement. So I don't think it will really be this surprise thing, guys. I think when it's coming, we know it's coming. So hopefully we can expect multiple characters. Our expectations are so high at this point, waiting so long. Multiple characters or some kind of mechanics added to the game would be ideal at this point. Seriously, it'd be ideal.
Or both.
Or both, right? So,
and another balance patch would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this so many times, guys. By this point, there's no point in speculating. Let's just the most likely event now is final round in March. And I really look forward to that.
Yeah.
So. Last thing, Mir, before we go, we should quickly just talk about this Momochi prize money thing some people are talking about. Basically, in Japan, you need this pro gaming license to acquire prize money from video game tournaments because of just their regulations on how game tournaments work. It's basically a form of gambling. So before, they had a very, very limited amount of prize money they can give to players during huge game events like SBO, for example. They were paid very little, but now they're getting up to scale where Evo Japan, you can win up to like $13,000 for Street Fighter V, for example. Unfortunately, Momochi did not want to get the license. He's advocating against it. He doesn't like the idea of it. I don't know the specifics, so I don't want to go into too much detail on why he doesn't want get the license. But he didn't get it, and he won the tournament. And the prize pot was like $13.5 thousand around American if you translate it from the yen. And Momochi, since he didn't have the license, he was only entitled to $900. And apparently he actually got the money afterwards, Mir. But I'm hearing like multiple sources saying
all of it, or
things.
just 900?
Yeah, he recently just got the money, and he still doesn't have the license, and he won't be getting the license because, like I said, he's advocating against it. I think it was a one-time thing. They're like, hey, we'll give you the money now, but now in the future, you have to know that we won't pay you. I don't know how the other pro players feel about this, but I thought people should know what's going on because some people are asking me about it. And sorry, go ahead, Mir. I'm talking.
No, I was just about to say, like, there's something on the Team Liquid, not YouTube page, website.
Yeah.
Where it's an article from a year ago where they actually asked Nemo, who was a player that has the license, what his thoughts were about this.
Yeah.
And he does think that the license is worth it in the sense that it's something that it can be improved upon.
Yeah.
And it's nice that well, not nice, but I mean, it feels like there's a need for some degree of regulation of tournaments and stuff.
Yes.
But it just feels like the system right now, or I guess at the time of the article, so 1 year ago, was kind of primitive and needed like improvements.
Yes.
And I've also read that they are giving out these license at tournaments. Like, for example, the first batch of licenses were given as a prize for a certain tournament. And I think so far or at least at the time of that article, they've given around 60. So it could be that one of the problems with this system is that they're giving away too little licenses. Not enough, right? It could be an argument of contention because like there's so many people that play, like in the FGC, right, in the arcades in Japan, and so I can imagine that one of Momochi's points is the fact that everyone should be allowed to play and get their prize money, if that's the case, instead of having to get the license first. So I don't know. I guess the solutions are multiple, right? You could have it so that these licenses can be handed out a little bit more freely, right? So that you don't have to, go through all of this to get a license first, and then you actually have to win stuff. Or I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure of the details myself, but it does seem like there's two factions, if you will, like two sides to this. Mm-hmm. Some agree, some don't. And Momochi's definitely one that doesn't.
Either way, like there's many of the big pot prizes are on either the American side or outside of Japan for tournaments. Mm-hmm. So any of those tournaments that Momochi happens to win, there should be no issues whatsoever. And we'll see if they'll have more tournaments in Japan with people able to get their license and get a sizable pot that gives them. It'll help us see more faces and help people see it's more worth it for them to attempt to be really good at these really difficult games and to be the best and have it worth it for them to dedicate all their time. It just for esports in general on the Japanese side. So. We'll see what it's like going forward. But that's pretty much it for the news, Mir. And guys, let us know what you think about this whole pro license thing. And if you guys have any more details or information to share with us, to just let us know exactly what's going down. Also, how do you guys think about the CPT season starting so far? I mean, it's not official yet, but we're having an idea of what characters people are using and the switches. And what do you guys expect on the new update that's coming apparently soon from Capcom? Let us know in the comments below, guys. Do us a solid, please like the video, and of course subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep you guys posted. So till then, guys, take care.